Okay, right. We're going to start again. We have got a few options for you here. Got these lads. These lads came from Rurik, so got some. We could paint these up in. I do apologise. We could paint these up as using the reference cards that come with them. So that's an option. If we can see there, can you get a bit closer there? So this is Status Polk. So these are from Rurik, and Rurik is a really good game, really really good. So it's a Euro game that that uses it's a war game that uses Euro mechanics, but it's a mechanicless Euro game, but it kind of presents all the tracking and conflict in it through Eurogame presentation. So while there's not like resource exchange, there's a little bit, but while there's not loads of resource exchange, it feels very much like you can kind of feel the whole game like just presenting in front of you immediately. Okay, what I'm doing is I'm going to send out another tweet in a moment. We can all make that choice together. Okay, next thing, I've got this guy. This guy's from Godtear. He looks cool. He's pretty big. Can I get it wrong if he's that large? Probably not. That's my guess. We have a couple of weird little minis here. These are from a game by Arcane Wonders called Dragon Scales. Which I've not actually played yet, but I think this guy is absolutely ripe for painting some really weird colours. So he's like sort of a beholder kind of character there, and that might be quite good. Alternatively, we have this guy, and you may recognise this guy as a chap from Scythe, if you've played that. So this is a really nice little resin model. I don't know if you can see the detail there, but that's really quite good. Then also Exit 23 sent us this. I believe this is from their sorry, how do you describe it? Their version of Blood Bowl, basically. Their sports teams people. This is a someone whose braces have got a bit out of control there. I'm not sure if you can quite see, but yeah, so that's quite good. That is a metal figure, so I don't know if that's nicer or not. And I've got some other little bits sticking around. I've got this other D&D thing, which I quite like the look of. I believe this is all pre-assembled. I know it's in 6 parts as well, but it's a totem. So we've got that as well. So we've got all those things to look at. Okay, so I'm just going to send this tweet. Then we'll take a vote on what we fancy on these pieces of plastic here. Okay. Okie dokie. So send out another tweet. We'll see if anyone turns up. Yeah. Okay. Let's get chatting back, because I've actually been ignoring you all terribly. Okay. So I think if it was merely down to me, I would be tempted to to paint one of these lads again. Either in their normal colours or in something completely wild. Or we paint this guy like some incredible colours. Yeah. So maybe it's this guy. Maybe we'll start with this guy and we'll go from there. Let's do that. You vote for the troll. Thank you, Joy of Wargaming. That's lovely for you to jump in. I'm glad you're behind me on this. So I believe we should start with a black base coat because this kind of resin is like doesn't take very well. So I think I need to start with a nice basic black base coat to start with. Right, some extra painting. Now, don't get too excited. Okay, so I'm using the scale colour here. This has been quite good before when I've done sort of base coats and stuff, because they're very, I think it goes on quite well, you know. Now I do have a list of Bob Ross quotes, which we might be breaking out a bit later. If I can start multitasking, that is. So this is from Godtear, which is a kind of skirmish game on a board. So it's sort of like Frostgrave level, or Beastgrave level, sorry. Sort of skirmishy sort of thing, and yeah, sort of slightly more constrained. The other thing is, I always think of these games as sort of like Blood Bowl-ish. You know, that's kind of the part of gaming they kind of consume, which is people who want minis in their life, but don't necessarily want to you know, do a war every time. You know, just a bit of a ruckus is usually enough for a lot of people. Right, so once we've got this base coat on, I think we need to go on pretty bold, to be honest. Now, if I read you some names of these Turbo Dork things, so we've got Motherload, we've got Cloud9, we have got Sparkle Motion, and 3D Glasses. Now, just based on those names, does anyone have a vote for what we should be doing for the majority of the colour? I mean, we can of course paint it green or something if you really want. And what colour should a troll be? Now I'm sure there's Godtear fans out there who are. Oh, you won a set of them. Oh, which set did you win? Did you win the Eternal Glade? The Eternal Glade stuff looks really good. We've actually got a painting guide of those coming up very shortly. Not by me, just to be clear. I'm not sure if it's quite possible to see the excellent way I'm painting this whole thing one colour. No one's ever painted something quite as well. Oh, standard metallics. Okay. Oh, you want to set the paints. I see. Yes. Well, the standard metallics are really good. I had a little play with them the other day, and this is why I know we need a base coat, right? I put one as a little pirate ship, and the top one there, that's one of the pearlescence ones. But because you need the base coat, and because I was really lazy, it didn't take very well. And that's not the paint's fault, that's my fault. But this bottom one that you can see on the base there, that's just one of their really standard metallics called Spicy Meatball. And it's just really nice. I'm not sure if you can see the quality of it there, but yeah, it's pretty good. I think they sort of come out really solid and vibrant from my very, very brief forays into their use. Yeah, so the colour shift ones, I think that's what we're using here. If you mean the ones that have kind of have a pearlescence on them, so they have. So this is what the outside of the bottle looks like. So that's sort of purple to blue there. I mean, I think that's a good colour for a troll. Just saying. So apparently I've got 3 viewers here, so welcome if you've just joined us. And if you are someone I know, feel free to hurl abuse in the chat as one would expect. So what we're doing now is we're just base coating this troll. Now the joy of wargaming is helping me along with some of these things. So if I do anything wrong, you can blame him for directing me in the wrong way. So I'm thinking, looking at my screen now, that I actually, it's possible that I needed a bit more light on this. Should we try and add a bit more light to it? We are dealing with the fact that the sun is going down. So I've got this, which I can sort of point this way. If that's useful at all, does that give us a better view of that? So I quite like the idea of painting minis for your board games. So if you're playing Scythe or something like that, and you've got your minis, but they are, they're not your army, in the way that say a Warhammer army is, or a Beastgrave army or whatever. I just like the idea of just spending some time just like improving the experience for everyone, because it would just suddenly you just have this sort of like really nice looking board of, you usually have grey resin or coloured resin like these ones. This one starts off obviously starts off blue, so that you can just play as the team of the blue ones, which come from all the Godtear stuff. I always think they kind of come in old Starburst flavours. Or old opal fruit flavours and things like that, and this colour is obviously the blueberry flavour one. I'll just show you the box very briefly. So this is the Halftusk Warden and of the Stone Owl and the Froglodites. So these are some other frogs actually. So maybe this and the other frog can get along eventually. I was going to read you all about this, but I probably won't actually. So these are by Steamforge. God, this guy takes a lot of paint, doesn't he? Takes a lot of paint. Now, I heard Duncan Rhodes say once that you should just slap it all on in one thick coat. I think that's what he's famous for saying. And that's the advice. That's the advice that I'm following here. There we go. We're getting there. We're getting there. Okay. So do we want to go for? Are we happy with me going for something like 3D glasses for the skin of this creature? Okay, there we are. There we are. Right. I'm just going to put them in the sunbed area. Not sure if we'll be able to see them there, but we'll give it a go. Oh, yeah, that's not facing that way. There we go. Not sure if you can spot him there, but that's there he is, just drying off lovely. So let's discuss. I'll just move them to the side. What paints we're going to go for? I think it's got to be either 3D glasses, right? Maybe we can try that on him, or this one called Cloud9, which is a very kind of, I guess, strawberries and cream kind of colour overall. Maybe give that a go. I'm not sure. I'm thinking sort of skin tone like that, and then I'm not sure if we do washes afterwards or what with this, but we'll give it a go. We'll see how it looks. So there's that, or we've got this very good looking gold. I think maybe we actually will just do his adornments like that. The skulls, things like that. Nice shiny gold skulls. I'm sure these paints are actually designed for doing quite specialist, interesting things. But I'm just like a child basically at this point, wanting to try them out in the biggest swathes possible. I've got this one called Mother Load as well, which is a kind of blue and a very light blue and sort of pink. Here we go. That's the potential colour of that one. Oh. Whoops, sorry about that. Okay. Do we think he's dry yet? How long does it take for paint to dry? There we go. Let's have a look at Mother Load then. So the back of these things tells me that I need to shake it more than I think I do. It comes with a little mixer thing in there. I think you can hear that quite well probably. I suppose I should wash my brush as well actually. Right. Now, oh, look at that. That's interesting looking. That's a very, very pearly. I'm not sure if you can see that there. That's quite interesting. That's going to be, that's really weird. That's going to go really strange, I think. Now, obviously they say, 3 to 5 very thin coats and all that sort of stuff. And we might do a little bit of that. We'll see how we get on. But I think we're, oh no, it's not quite dry yet. We have to give him just a moment to get ready. Okay, so if you've just joined us, we're trying to paint this troll here that I've got floating in front of me. He's a lad from Godtear. We're going to use this Motherlode paint on him, which hopefully gives him a bizarre pearlescence. Yeah, and just say hello in the chat if you're joining us afresh. Right, I think we're just going to crack on. We're just going to crack on, guys. So, now can you see that at all? I think we might have to change the lighting situation slightly. So if I do it over here, is that better? Or here? And maybe we'll see this as I paint him in. Okay, so what we're trying to do is we're trying to get this all. I mean, this is going to be absolutely wild, actually, isn't it? Look at this. This is already mental. Okay. Here we go. Now, I've suddenly had a thought in my head that it might be Godtear rather than Godtear, because I've actually never heard anyone say it out loud. But I think it's Godtear because I think the idea is that a droplet of the gods that have fallen is there to falls down, and only certain people can sort of use that power, can only harness that power. So I was going to go all over here, but he's got some nice little nodules on his shoulders, which we might do as sort of blingy pimples later on. So let's make him as shiny as possible. Oh, it's a bit wet under there, so we've accidentally done some shadowing. I must say, I'm quite impressed by this paint already. I think it's completely bonkers. So years ago, when I was a younger person, I used to do a lot of sort of oil painting and stuff like that. And so when I came back to trying to paint models, I thought I'll just apply those techniques. Lots of dry brushes and that sort of thing. And it turns out none of that works at all. Oh, getting a bit dribbly over here. I think uneven paint is more interesting than even paint. That's what I'm going to say. I'm going to go out on a limb, sell immediately. But look at this guy. He's looking pretty fabulous already. So I call them blingy pimples. I'm sure they're sort of scars of battle and all that sort of stuff. So I'm using a technique here called painting over a slightly wet base layer and accidentally getting sort of bits of shadow chucked in on your first layer, which I think is actually fine, to be honest. I think it's fine. You know, the thing will be what it wants to be in the end. Apologies, my camera discipline is terrible. One second, we're just going to give this a proper wipe down. Very good. Very good. Blingy pimples sound pretty awkward. Very good. Thank you for that. Lahib 23222324. Is that your phone number? Your PIN number? Is that what you've done there? Okay. Let's see if we can. So, if you've just joined us, we're attempting to paint a blingy orc. I say orc, it's a troll. I should be very clear about that. Well, I'm actually not sure about the law, to be honest, but it's fine. So, painting a bit of his knee there. Bit of a exposed upper thigh. I need to capture. Okay. Getting there. See, guys, we're nearly done. Look at it. See, the lighting here is not worked out for us. What we'll do is we'll do the pop him in the over there. Sadly, though, because it's a blue screen, you can't quite capture the effect on him already. But we've got much to work out here, so. Okay, so. Okay, bit more bling around here. Yeah, and now we've got some toes to sort out. There we go. I think that's not too bad to start us off. So as we progress this, we should be able to see more of him as the black disappears. So, here we go. Okay. I mean, I think that's pretty much perfect. I think we've cracked it, guys. Can you see? Can you see the sort of the weird effect there that we're getting on it? I'm not sure if that's focusing properly, but I possibly need a better studio for it. Okay. Right. So that's a good start. He's already looking pretty blingy. I think we now need to decide what we're doing for his kind of loincloth strap and everything else bits. I guess. I mean, traditionally we'd say like a mucky brown, right? Or we do them white and then do a wash over them, which I suppose we could do if you liked. Yes, he does need a dentist. We will have to talk about his tusks at some point. Is that focused working there? There you go, that's a bit better. I'm not sure if I can see his tusks. There we go. Lovely. Yeah, I'm not sure if you can see the pearlescent starting to come through there, but I think it's pretty cool actually. Look at that. I think that's quite cool. It's very dramatic, I think. Yeah, so what do we think? Loincloth wise, what should we go for? Do you think like a really basic colour? Or we could give him, I suppose we could give him sort of some sort of team colours almost. Or we could give him like bright gold, that might look cool. I mean, I do have a reference of the box here. I mean, this is the guy we're actually trying to end up with, right? This guy. And I think we have already improved the situation massively. Pink, yes. What a good idea. Okay, someone in the chat has just suggested that we if we went for the pink. So, okay, we've got some pink options. I can mix it something, that's absolutely fine. I'll pop them back over here. Just for the moment. So I can mix us a few things if we like. We can use the there's a nice red here that we can bring down. I've got some whites and all that sort of stuff. However, we could also use spicy meatball. So that's kind of ends up as kind of a metallic-y pink. So we could lighten that up maybe. I've got this gold cartridge family. Is a kind of coppery sort of colour. Yes, coppery, not brassy. So we could do that. So we could. I think starting with spicy meatball and then maybe mixing in some of the other acrylic, hoping that we can lighten it to a pink, is not a bad shout. I think that's quite a good idea. We do shout or forever hold your peace. Yeah, spicy meatball is very good. It's a really solid looking colour by itself, but we're gonna try and mix it, which is very exciting for everyone involved. By which I mean me. It's exciting for me. Okay, so I am using the palette here. I was going to use the glass that I've put down. So the paint brands, right? So we've got the extremely nice looking. I apologise. I had some paraphernalia of theirs that I was hoping to show off. But this is so these are the Turbo Dork paints from Exit 23. They're they're really nice, and they're just really strange. And obviously I'm a sucker for novelty, so that's why I went for them. So I'm using those, and the other things we're using these scale colours. They're, they are. I think they're meant to be pretty good. For what they are, they kickstarted I think last year. Some new sets just for model painting. I'm not sure if this is one of them, but yeah. So our troll on the left has gone completely see-through, hasn't he? That's probably that blue being picked up because it's a blue screen, you see. So I'm going to try and mix spicy meatball, which is this colour, this Turbo Dork from Exit 23, with this just basic white from Scale Colour. Okay, and now, should I do that? Probably not. Is it a bad idea? Almost certainly. Will it work? Who knows? Who knows? That's really a problem for future me. Okay, let's do a little mix. Do you know what? I think this is going to work quite nicely actually. Maybe a bit fleshier than we wanted, so we might have to highlight back in. Okay. Here he is. I think as it dries, it sort of gets a little bit more vibrant. I think you can probably see that. Okay. So I'm going to have to sort of lean forward slightly here to get the paints in. Okay. So we'll start with this, and we'll work up from there. As previously mentioned, I'm using a technique where I paint over the base colour without letting it dry entirely to accidentally get some shading. This skull that I'm painting over, we will be making that gold, I think. I think that's probably the best thing to do. So he's got a lot of cloth on here, back. Okay, lovely. Looks like I probably missed a bit of his flesh there, so I'll have to come back to that. Played any good games over lockdown? I've played so many games over lockdown, and I've played so many solo modes. Which you wouldn't believe how many solo modes there are in the world for all these games, and they've been quite good, really. Probably the best thing I've played solo that isn't like a straight up like adventure game, because that's co-op adventure games that you just take the number down to 1. They pretty much always work, and they retain so much of the quality of their play in them. It's mainly the more sort of it's more challenging, I think, to have a game like a Euro game or something that retains its like quality while being played. And probably from a couple of months ago in the magazine, you'll see a review of Expedition to New Dale, which it's not a new game. It's not a new game. It's been out since end of I think end of 2018, to be honest. But we only just got round to doing it during lockdown. That's a campaign-based Euro game, and it's pretty exciting actually. And it's really hard. The solo mode is so much harder than playing with friends. Beating your friends is one thing, right? That's a challenge of its own type, right? But I think I think you only have to be the least slow, right, in the race, as it were. But beating a solo game that gives you direct challenges, that's much more difficult, much more difficult. And yeah, so that was a really difficult, game to play along to, because it's kind of like it's a little bit like Villagers or something, but more engine-y rather than tableau-y. So you are building up a tableau in front of you of like goods and services that you've accrued as you expand across the expedition map, and as you expand, you get more cars. You get to buy things, and then you end up doing things where you take your coal and you take the goods on there and take them to, because goods are agnostic in this game, right? They don't belong to any type, right? You take those goods and they move. The coal goods may move through the flour factory. That's the wrong word, but through the flour factory, I'm going to say. We'll just stick with that. And in doing that, they double up, and then they also go to the bakery, right? It's a flow that's similar to that. I've absolutely mangled that horribly, but yeah, and in that flow, you're upgrading the value of each of those cubes. So even if you move one cube without multiplying it at all on its journey, that cube that was worth 1 on your coal deposit or mine, say, is now worth 6 in the bakery, right? So it's kind of like a game about VAT, to be honest. But it's really good. And yeah, the solo mode is so challenging. Because the what they ask you to achieve is very difficult in the amount of turns you have, because there's only 5 or 6 rounds in a game, and then you start to move on to the other scenarios in the booklet. Mill. Sorry, yes, I'm looking for the word mill. That's that is the word I was looking for. I'm not even sure if it is a mill, but that's in what I was talking about. That's certainly what I was talking, heading towards, or failing to head towards. So what do we think to this? I've done it very, very, very light, haven't I? Shall I add more meatball? I'm thinking we need to add a little bit more meatball. I'll do that as a sort of wet highlight. I'm making up these terms as we go along, as if they're real things. Looks threadbare. Yes, I mean, he's the last of his kind, according to the back of the box. So I guess things aren't going that well for him. So yeah, threadbare loincloth is probably correct. So I'm going to. Sorry, Matt, I know this is inappropriate, but I'm going to just slip my brush up there, if that's all right. Okay. So we've got the loincloth area is sort of in a very basic kind of way covered. Let's get a little bit extra in there. We'll just splodge it in, that's fine. I apologise to everyone who sculpted these and spent a lot of time making them worth painting for me to come along in the ruin. I'm just going to put a bit of a white on this sword is carrying, just to get us started there, because I'm assuming we're going to paint this a different colour. I suppose this could match the gold we're hoping to add at some point. Here we go. think I should probably start picking out some of these toothy bits as well. I don't know if you can see them. But he's wearing a kind of very low slung necklace. Just sponge it. Now, I did think actually, should I get a sponge and just do that? Do you know what I mean? Here he is. I think he's looking pretty dope actually. Look at this guy. Look at this guy. Tusk time. So what colour are we going to do as tusks? That's my next question for you. I'm going to start them off white, so we've just got something to work on that's not black, just so we can also sort of identify them a bit better on the stream. There we are. Here he is. I think he's looking pretty cool, you know. Let's see if we can. What I'm going to do, I'm just going to play with the filters briefly on this, and we're going to see if we can improve how much of them we can see. Yes, it's. I'm not sure if you can all see this, but his yes, his blueness is very much the problem here. Okay, we're not going to change that too much because it's not. Oh, there we go. It does look great. Oh, just splodge it in. Sorry, yes, not a sponge. Sorry, yes, a sponge. To be honest with you, joy of wargaming, a sponge is a slightly too technical a tool for me. So I'm just going to stick to these. This brush. I'm not sure if you can see the end of that brush there, but that's what we're working with as our main brush. I do have a smaller brush here, which we're about to have a go with, for some more detailed elements. I suppose it looks like I've actually missed some of his footing there, so we'll come back to that. Whoops. Bits I missed. Terrible sloppy work. I've clearly not splooged it on at all. Or splodged it on rather, that's probably what I should have said. Okay. How's that guy looking? I think he's looking pretty cool. Okay, so tusk colour. Hit me with it. What are we doing? What do we fancy? I can offer you, I mean, it can be any colour, we can make any colour we like, obviously. But if we could open them up, for example, I mean, I know our blue screen is not really dealing with the blue anyway, but I do have a blue that's like this as well. I don't know if that's useful for anything. Very interesting colour itself. Now we could actually go for this coppery colour on a few bits, couldn't we? Gold. Do you think gold for the tusks? Or gold for the skulls. I mean, I suppose they're all bone, aren't they? So that's kind of like thematic, like that's the kind of palette choice, right? Is it acrylic? I think they are all acrylics. So these guys are definitely acrylics, right? The scale colour are. Yeah, these are water-based acrylics. So you can mix them down, do what you like with them, water them down, all that sort of stuff. So do we want to go for the bright gold, which is kind of this one, which is very, very gold, I think you can see there, or do we want to go for the cartridge family, which is a brassier colour? It is entirely in your hands. think here's your comparisons. I guess it's going to have to be. Okay, let's go for the gold. This is. How much do you think he spent on his grills? Okay, you're right. He probably spent a lot. Let's scrap in and we'll go for the gold. Wow, that gold is pretty wild. Okay, I think you guys are going to like this. Here we go. So, we're going in on the tusks, right? And it's going to end up looking like this. So I've just realised that you can't see that. Here we go. Here we go. Can you see that gold there? Look at that, how fabulous is that? So this is the Exit 23 guys who've made this gold possible. You guys. If you asked him, do you think he'd tell the truth? Very good. Can we see those mighty tusks there? They are looking fabulous. Now, am I going to do? Shall I do the skulls in this way? I think we are. We're going to go straight in and do the skulls in this way. So he's got a fanny pack skull here, which we're just going to fill in. The skull here. This is from, I guess, the universe of where, a bit like that Mad Max universe where everything is just skulls. Yeah, it's the main way of adorning things. It's just to have skulls. It's cool. Is that another skull there? That looks like it's probably another skull there. There we go. Can we see that? I think they're looking pretty good. Is that? I think there's another skull just here. He obviously means a certain amount of business. I've heard having skulls helps you get ahead in life. Excellent. Okay. I think that looks pretty good, actually. I think they look pretty fancy. Shall I do these? I'll do these teeth in gold as well. Why not? I'll do all these little bits in gold. Now, this sword, we need to talk about this sword. Is this a gold sword? That's my only question I've got for you. Is this a gold sword? Or does it need to be a different colour? I must say that pearlescency colour has come off really nicely. It's even as slapdashedly as I put it on. I think it looks pretty good. Is it a gold sword? What do you think, guys? Carbon fibre sword. I'm not sure. I've got a carbon fibre colour. So I think we're going to go for gold. That's what we're going to do. Sorry. We're just going to go for it because I think this gold is pretty cool. Now, is this thematically correct for the game? It is definitely not. Do we know enough about the lore to make that sort of cool? Absolutely not. But I'm having quite a good time. Whoops. How about that? How about that? I have to apologise for my quietness at this moment of intense concentration. Okie dokie. There we go. I think that guy looks pretty good. What do you think? Now, edge of the blade, a different colour. Okay, good. Do you think just like a highlight kind of thing, or like because I'd usually just add like a really basic highlight to it, you know. Oh, that is a shitty highlight I've done there. Oh, my apologies for the swearing there to all the kids in the audience. Something completely different. Oh, okay. Yeah, I guess you're right. I guess it's time to break out the that like really weird blue, right? I think that's the only thing to do at this point. They're just when they go into the palette. My hands are tired. Exactly, they are tired. I thought you said my hands are tired, which they also are, because I'm not a professional. Okay, so we're going to try and go at it from the bottom here. So I'm just sort of going to try and gently dab it here. Hopefully this will come off all right. Can you see that blue there? Is that too shit? Sorry, is that too amateurish? No, sorry, is that beyond the level of amateurish we were originally going for? I quite like this blue, actually. What do we think? Tell you what, I've missed a couple of bits here, so let's just have a little pick up of some of these missing bits. Let's see. What if we start adding this meatball back in over the slightly washed out white that we've got? I think that's quite nice, isn't it? Okay, so touching up a few elements here. Okay, I think that's a slight improvement on the footings. You know, I mean, it's a bit messy, but that's kind of all we're ever going for here, really. You know. Okay, so earlier I promised that we were going to give him some bling pimples. Now there's one here called Cloud 9, which I think sounds like a kind of pimply sort of colour. What do you think? I think this guy looks pretty good. So, but you can see at the back here, he's got some sort of little nodules, and maybe you actually can't see because of the shadow in the way. The funny thing with using a kind of like light reactive paint is obviously any light that falls on it is going to be it's going to be very difficult to see stuff, isn't it? Put that down there, lovely stuff. Okay. So here come the bling pimples, what we've kind of all been waiting for, to be quite honest. Now maybe this slightly pearly colour is not the right colour to use, but we'll see how it comes out. The Bob Ross quotes I was going to use were obviously things like, we don't make mistakes, just happy accidents. And I think we can just make mistakes, but they're okay as well. That's all right, isn't it? So I'm sort of giving him, he's sort of got some sort of rat-taily hair back here. You know, he's obviously just had a shower, something like that, and he's obviously his hair's obviously a bit wet still. There we go. And this is the Cloud 9 that we're adding here. This is probably the most like, I'm going to go like birthstone chic of the colours we have available. And my next question for chat really is, what colour are we going to do his eyes? You know, traditionally you always do the eyes of the things you paint red, from what I remember as being a child, because that's cool, right? I think that's also a bit of hair there, so drawing that up. Green or yellow for the eyes? I think yeah, yellow for the eyes sounds quite good actually. I think because it's not too far away from the gold as well, so I quite like that. So let's get some of his bling pimples here. There we go. Sorry, I'm not sure if I'm putting this in the right place for everyone to see. What I'm going to do next time is I'm going to mark out the area, which is the main sort of viewing area for people. And I'm going to ensure my hands are there. That's what I'm going to do. Here we go. I think this might have been quite a good body colour paint as well, actually, because the colour's quite strange. Okay. How do we feel about the bling pimples? The long promised bling pimples. Sorry, there we go. It's actually also got a manual focus on it, so that's why I'm trying to use this kind of properly. There's some bling pimples as promised. Oh, there we go. If I just do that, you get a little bit of a sense of it. A little spur there. Anything else I'm tempted by with this? I mean, do I do his teeth like this as well? Because that's funny. How about that? You see his teeth there? There we go. So I think this isn't a bad start at all. Here's a question: Would you ever paint the toenails? Should I paint the toenails? That's the question. I've attempted the toenails. I'm not sure you can see that. Obviously you can see that I've cocked up on the end there. So I'm just going to wipe it off. That's fine. Anything else here I can get? No, I think we're quite good actually. Should I have done red for the toenails? Is that would have been the preference? Okay, we're going to do the eyes, and then we're going to call it done for the time being. And after that, I will say thank you to everyone, and get on with the rest of my life. Okay, so we're just going in for the eyes now. We may return to this model in a future excursion. How about that? Can we see those eyes? There we go. Does he look scary enough? Does he look like a scary guy? I think he looks pretty scary. Okay, Now I think that's basically it. Let's pop in there. I'm going to turn that green screen off. We're going to look at the finished piece there, more or less, and yeah. I'll just pop that there like that for us all. Just going to pop that off. There you go. So you can see him on his real blue background there, which maybe isn't the best way to see him actually at all. But what do we think of that? I don't think that's too bad for a little hour's work there. So very much thank you to Exit 23 for these paints, and to Steamforged for the models. How many cameras do I have? I've currently got 3 set up here. So I've got this top-down camera that you can't see. Top-down camera here. This one here. Then this one over here is the like meant to be the green screen one. Usually I'd use it for like playing cards onto, so you could read the cards as chat. And it's, I say it's a green screen, obviously a blue screen. You can do that with whatever colour you like. What I'm thinking for these models is really I'm best off creating maybe a small diorama sort of setup for them. I think he looks quite good actually. I think our lad looks quite good. This camera here, it has a light on it, so I can change sort of whether it has direct light on it or not, and that's usually quite good for some of the cards that the smaller text, because it just helps bring the stuff out. Yeah, and that's an autofocus as well, so that's why you're seeing that work like that. And then I've got the main camera here. It's all run through OBS, so I can switch to this here, and you can just see me, which is obviously what you want to do. Yeah, that's more or less it. So thank you to everyone who turned up to this. You didn't have to, and it's very kind that you did. We will be doing this again, hopefully slightly more productively, and hopefully we'll get that frog finished and work through that at another time. We'll do some unboxings and other stuff like that. So if you don't know who we are, I'm Chris A. I'm the editor of Tabletop Gaming. You can pick us up in most newsagents, or you would be able to if you were able to go to newsagents. Instead, the best thing to do is really go to tabletopgaming.co.uk and subscribe to the magazine there and get it through the door every month. It's 100 pages of board games, tabletop RPGs, and all that sort of stuff. So thank you for painting with Chris, or Chris Can't Paint, and yeah, it's been great. See you guys soon. Thanks.